Welcome viewers to Tisha Channel. We celebrate all Ghanaian women today for their hard work and for everything they are doing for their motherland. Today, the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Samira Bawumia, joined Mrs. Helen Apia Ampof, Flavor Flavor's wife, on Clubhouse to celebrate Ghanaian women. She also shared with us her beautiful story as a woman, her challenges, and everything that she has been through as a woman. Let's go and listen to what Samira Bawumia has to say.
We looked at the worst case scenario in the country where maternal mortality was the highest at the time, which was East Gonja district. It's now a municipality based on Ghana Health Service data. And we went in, designed a project that would move women to clinics and health centers, give them medication to stop the hemorrhaging, give them a delivery pack which had a blanket, a sterilized blade for delivery, all the things that the woman needs. I don't want to get into the details, but basically this project has been so impactful. It's over 2 years, and it took us a year to research into this project, to start the project. It took us, we've been at it for 2 years. We go into the municipality every quarter, and from the worst case in the country, I'm proud to say that as at now, there's zero mortality in that district from all those three main issues of mortality, which was hypertension, hemorrhaging, and infection, so far as we're concerned, and the Ghana Health Service data. So I'm extremely proud of that. And that's only a part of the broader health issues that we're addressing. We support health facilities with equipment and supplies, to augment their efforts at supporting women. And then also in education, we have our Library in a Box project, which is really exciting. I love reading, I love books. I want to encourage as many of our young ones to start reading, because really, reading is the window into the world. That's where you see the world, because we live in Ghana. Maybe a child lives in this village or even a town, but beyond that town, what's beyond? It's through books that we learn about other countries, other societies, other people. We learn about tolerance, we learn about so many things. It's our window into the world. And so this project allows us to give schools books, and through our projects, we're able to see schools have started reading time on their timetable. So those are the sorts of impacts that we're seeing. And then we're also, as part of our empowerment for women, we're training women in skills development. We're giving them equipment, supplies to set up after training. In some instances, we're even giving them cash so that they can start businesses with it. So we've been pretty busy, and currently we've built 4 factories. I'm about to go and get them launched, share factories with partnerships. And what I want to emphasize on is, all of these things are possible because we build partnerships. We work with other people, and that's very important. For a lot of people listening, sometimes you have an idea and you ask yourself, how do I make this happen? And it is finding the right people, the people who have the mindset, who also are willing to support your effort. And together, we've really done amazing things in the last 4 years, and I'm looking forward to doing even better things in the next 4.
Well, that's truly exciting, and you've been very, very busy. And all these initiatives are great initiatives. Just listening to you talk about the statistics of the mortality rate, that's incredible stuff.
Absolutely.
And to everybody else in the room, you too can ask a question at the end of the conversation. Just raise your hand, and we have moderators in the room who will bump you up to the top, and then you two can get involved. Now, my next question, I don't want to call it a contentious one, but every time this sort of question pops up, not everybody wants to answer it. But I'm going to ask you, this afternoon, what do you consider yourself a feminist?
Well, I'm not about labels. Who's a feminist? For me, it's not about that. For me, I consider myself as someone who fights for equality. I consider myself someone who wants women's rights to be upheld, to be recognized, and everybody's rights. We're fighting for equality and equity. I think that's the most important thing for our society. As a mother, I have a girl, I have boys. I want to raise them into a fair society and a just society. And so that is what I stand for. So you can call it whatever you want, but I stand for justice, I stand for fairness, and I stand for equality.
All right. And I mentioned earlier that the global theme for this year's International Women's Day is Choose to Challenge. That's the hashtag that is being used.
That's right.
As a society, what are the norms that we need to challenge as far as women are concerned? We know that there are various biases and stereotypes when it comes to women. What are some of the biggest challenges that women face? In fact, personal to you, what are some of these ideas that you are choosing to challenge?
Well, I think one of our biggest issues is stereotyping, and we need to raise a generation of women who believe that they can be whoever they want to be. And that's part of empowering these women. These young women need to know that they can grow into whoever they want to be. So stereotyping is one of the biggest issues, thinking that these roles are just reserved for women. Those are some of the things we need to fight. I want to look at a situation where there's no disparity in pay for women. I want to fight against early childhood marriage. You know, sexual harassment in the workplace is one of my greatest pet peeves. For where I sit here as second lady, I get so many complaints. I get young women coming to me and saying, Your Excellency, I've finished school, I'm trying to find a job, and this is what I'm confronted with, and I'm desperate. What is there to do? And these are the things that I hope today our conversation will start. I'm sure it started already. Some people are talking about it, people are addressing it. But let's take it up seriously. Let's all talk about it, because it's really affecting a lot of our girls, a lot of our women. And let's ask ourselves, what is it that a woman needs to do so that she can get to the top? Why is it that women are dealt with differently? Even in the political space, when you look at the political commentary around women, it's different. When a woman speaks, her attacks, the line of attacks are different from when a man says the exact same things. The language that is used towards women is different, and we need to address those issues. People should be judged based on the content of their character, their intellect. People should be seen for who they are and not just by their gender, and that is what I'm passionate about. And I want to see a society that respects individuals no matter what their sex is.
Now, already from this conversation, we know that you wear a number of hats. We've spoken about the Samira empowerment and humanitarian politics, something that maybe not everybody knew about. It would appear that sometimes the focus is on the fashion, on the style, which is very important. You represent the country so well. Does it ever bother you that sometimes it's a lot about fashion, it's a lot about style?
Well, I hope it's not the only thing that is being spoken about. But I mean, in the context of the fact that I'm promoting Ghanaian fashion and I'm promoting Ghanaian designers, I'm happy to do that because I believe that I have done a lot of good to many a designer in Ghana. Many, I know the Northern Kente has really seen a resurgence since I started wearing it, and well, at least that's what people say, that I have even driven the prices up, and you know, that gives me joy, and that is boosting that industry. So I'm happy about that, but that is not all that I am. That is just a part of it. I can understand that people talk about it because that's what you see, but wait, people need to see beyond that. And beyond that is what I do, and I do a lot of things, a lot of good things that are also noteworthy. So yes, people can talk about it to the extent that it promotes our culture, it promotes our industry, it promotes our designers, but there's so much more to Samira Bawumia than her looks or her fashion. So I hope that people see my entirety and not just my fashion sense.
That's very exciting, and like you said, you are driving for the prices of some of the fabric, some of the Who forgive you for doing so much?
And I'll tell you a funny story. So I'll tell you a funny story. So I met this. I met this man who said, "Listen, Mrs. Bawumia, you're causing problems for me in my house because my wife is always going to this designer that you're wearing, and she wants to wear it all the time." I said, "Well, let it go and get it." So I think it's a good thing, you know. So, so I'm sure I'm causing a lot of problems, but it's a good thing. The designer is getting business. Exactly, but it's a good thing, I suppose.
Now you mentioned being a mother. We know that you're a mother of 4.
Yes.
And we're talking about wanting to live a world where there's equality for your daughter and your son. Now, are you especially close to your daughter? Are there any special mother-daughter activities that you engage in with your daughter?
Oh, you know, teenage daughters. Actually, I've tried to keep them away from the public eye as much as possible because I understand that they didn't sign up for this. I think I've done a fairly good job so far. But yes, I'm fairly close to my children, all of them. My daughter, when she was younger, we used to do a lot of activities together. I'll take her to, she's a bit boisterous, I take her to taekwondo, swimming, ballet, all of those fun stuff when they didn't have a choice, right? But today, would you believe it, Helen? She thinks I'm not cool, and she's trying to teach me to be cool. So she teaches me all the new language, the lingo, the teenagers' language and things. She thinks her mom is not cool. Can you imagine? That's terrible, isn't it? She actually thinks I'm not cool, and I keep telling her that I am cool, but she's not buying it. So yeah, but we are very close, and yeah. I'm an only girl as well, so I kind of feel her pain. So I try to be there for her as much as possible. Because I have 3 boys and a girl, so I try to make sure she's not too lonely. I am an only girl and I have 5 brothers. So I grew up pretty lonely in that sense. So I try to be there for her as much as possible. But I'm close to all my children. I try to spend a lot of time with them as much as possible.
Now, you're not very comfortable with your teenage daughter at the moment, but you'll soon come back into style. I'm probably
I hope so.
You as a teenager, it's not very cool. Hanging out with mom, but you'll soon be back in style and still be, want to spend more time with you and engage with you. But for now, I think you have to accept that you're not as cool as you would like.
I know. It's unfortunate, but you know.
Let's talk a little bit about COVID-19.
Sure.
We're still in the throes of a pandemic. Now, with the onset of COVID-19, women have been disproportionately affected. We've seen an increase in domestic violence cases. Women are losing out on income because a lot of the times they have to stay at home with their children. In fact, very staggering statistics that said that sexual and gender-based violence had increased by some 82% in the Volta region in 2020 alone. What is being done to support women in COVID-19 times?
Right. Well, I'm proud to say that COPASH, which I chair, together with JOS, to have a dedicated helpline for domestic violence. So unfortunately, as you mentioned, during this COVID period where women are being made to stay home longer because some of the jobs are undertaken in the house, so they are forced to be at home with abusive partners, so it's perpetuating the violence, or sometimes even just the frustration of being at home and the cabin fever that is setting in is increasing violence. So that helpline has been dedicated. After this event, I'll put the line on my media handle so that everybody can access that line in case you're going through something like that. And government also had a COVID relief package that we put out for people. I remember there is actually ongoing. There was before the election, and then it's also ongoing now. This NBSSI, National Board for Small Scale Industries, a package for young people which not actually for entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, small scale, medium scale entrepreneurs. There were monies giving out to people to help encourage them into business to go on. So that was also going on. And then in-house as well, we have our SEP Entrepreneurial Development Initiative, which, as I mentioned, we've been training women. We've trained thousands of people across this country, giving them important skills so that they can start their businesses. We've given them startup kits. We've given them capital to start up. And then, of course, with the dedication of our President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, and his able team, we have the vaccine here now, and so hopefully we'll see the end of this and we can get back to life as normal. So a lot has been done. Let's just hang in there and finish hard, as they say, and as Mr. President says, this too shall pass.
Lovely. Now, sticking with COVID-19, I have unsuccessfully tried to join TikTok and learn a number of dances, well, especially during the lockdown period. How do you keep busy, or how did you keep busy during the lockdown period? I know that some people are saying that they were suffering with burnout, were tired of the Zoom calls, and tired of being at home, and tired of watching YouTube. What was life like during lockdown?
I know. I just mentioned cabin fever. I know it's stressful, especially for young people who are used to being out there and socializing. In fact, I think as human beings, we are social beings, aren't we? We're meant to interact. So it's not normal for us to not be in a situation where we are interacting. So I think we're all a little bit stressed right now, maybe terribly depressed, because we have to curtail our social lives. But let's put it in perspective. It's a necessary evil so that we can enjoy later. So let us hold back. So maybe what are the coping mechanisms? Let's learn a new skill. So for those out there who don't know how to cook, maybe it's a good time to learn to bake, to learn something new. So I tried, Helen, just promise you're not going to laugh, because I tried this.
I'll do my best.
Listen, I tried this online aerobics thing that I tried to follow. It was a disaster. By the third day, I was crawling all over the place, and I said, okay, maybe I chose the wrong thing to learn, but but I know. So it's just things that would amuse you, encourage you. You know, people were baking and cooking and, anything that you can do, interesting things. So I know some people are learning to draw, some people are learning to write, so teach yourself something new. Go on YouTube and learn something new. Maybe that will distract you, or even it's a good time to even think of a business idea, because it's in challenging times that solutions come to us as people. When you look at all the billionaires in this world, they all are solving problems. So this is maybe God has given us time to sit down, be still, be quiet, and engage with ourselves and come up with a solution. So for those of us who have the luxury of doing that, that's what I'll recommend. But the most important message is that let us bite this bitter pill. Let us restrain ourselves. Let us hold back, and rather be alive and stay well so that we can enjoy many healthy years ahead, rather than be part of the victims that have been counted. I used to say that at the beginning we knew of examples, and then as time went by we realized that some of the examples were people we actually knew, of those who were dying. And you really don't want to become an example yourself. You don't want to become a statistic yourself. So think of that. Think of your loved ones and your family. So let's restrain ourselves for now so that we can enjoy all together later.
And that's a great advice. Let's be still, let's be quiet, so that we can come out, healthy and strong on the other side.
Absolutely.
If you want to just join the Clubhouse room, engaging with Mrs. Samira Bawumia this past International Women's Day. If I haven't already wished you all a happy International Women's Day. The hashtag that we're using today across all the different social media platforms is hashtag AskSamira
anybody knows of any aerobics thing, sites that I can survive, please let me know. Send it to me, please, because I think, I need it. Because obviously the ones I have are terrible. So just saying, I need somebody to save me right now because I can't go to the gym. Yes. That's my
We have to get guys. We have to get this. Nothing too complicated. We already had a tale of how the best of ever was.
Yeah.
So that's
Nothing going.
nothing too crazy. Just let us know.
Something else about
Something you will survive.
Yeah.
1 to 10.
Yes.
Okay. So we have people know I see some hands raised. Again, once you raise your hands and you are brought on stage, please wait your turn before you unmute your mic. So I'm just having a scan of the room. I see some hands. Okay, so I have Jasmine up at the front. Happy International Women's Day, Jasmine. I think you have a question for Ms. Bawumia. Unmute mic and answer it.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Helen, for organising this. This is such an amazing opportunity to speak to Mrs. Samira. I've got 3 questions actually, so if you don't mind me asking all of them, I'll be so grateful.
Sadly, for time, you're going to ask the one that you really, really want to answer so we can have more people ask your questions. So apologies, Jasmine, but just one question for now.
Okay, so my one question is, do you have any initiatives or projects going on for Ghanaian women in the diaspora? I'm from London, UK, and I mean, I've literally followed you and admired your work and, everything that you've been doing for Ghana and how you're representing the country in an amazing light. So I just wanted to know, do you have anything going on for women in the diaspora? Support you and support your work. As we're not in Ghana, we're actually outside of the diaspora. So is there anything that you're doing that we can also contribute and support you in your movement?
Well, thank you, Jasmine. Currently, all our programs are in Ghana, but what we do is that we engage with people from the diaspora. So I'm so glad that you're following this conversation and you've been following the good work we're doing. Every now and again, I travel across the world and I speak to the men in different countries, and I encourage them to invest their time and resources back home, and it could be in any form. So if you visit our website, which is www.sbawumia.org, you will see all the things that we do and how you can be of support. And I like also to mentor young women as well. So women like yourself. Who've come through our offices here as well, and I'm sure they've had good reviews as well. I think putting up with their reviews online, I should check and see, but yes. So that's the answer, Jasmine. But thank you again for your question.
Thank you so much. It's funny that you say you've got internships and stuff like that going on, because that was going to be another question of mine, which is, would you think of opening an etiquette school which empowers women and sort of supports women aspiring to be just like you?
That's a thought. I'll give it a thought.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine, for that question. And I believe Manisi also has a question. And Manisi, unmute your mic and take it up.
Thank you, Helen. Good afternoon and happy International Women's Day to everyone. I'm just curious to know what's the one thing that you wish you had known, the one thing Hajia wishes she had known before she went into public office?
Well, that's interesting. I wish I wish I had known that I wouldn't be as free, but it wouldn't have changed anything, really. This is an incredible privilege, as I keep saying, and you cannot know enough. I learn about this job every day and goings on. So, you know, I really don't know what's one thing would have made a difference even if I had known it. I'm happy to be learning on the job. I'm happy to have a supportive team around me. I'm happy to have a fantastic First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Ekufuado, who also makes it easy for me to do my work. It's just been great so far. So I've been very lucky. I've been very, very lucky.
All right, so we're going to take a question now from Henrita. Can you unmute your mic and ask away?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for hosting this room. I think that this is really a great stage, Helen. So hopefully you get to host more rooms like this in the future. So my name is Helen. I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I work in federal government. And my question is, especially in Ghana, how can we get more women, especially young women, involved in politics? And not only involved in politics, but how can we also make sure that they have access to opportunity to get involved in politics? Thank you.
Well, thank you for the question. Well, there's so many factors that inhibit women being in politics. There's so many barriers to entry for women in politics. As I said, the commentary around women in politics, it can be really brutal, and some women, get very uncomfortable with it. So we have to have a society that is tolerant and that understands and respects women, so that women are comfortable being in that space. Also, the other barrier to entry is financial, because politics tends to be expensive and women generally don't tend to have as much capital as men do. So the conversation should be around how are women facilitated in terms of getting into politics. Should the political parties give women a break? I know sometimes the parties give women discounts on some of the filing fees, etc. But then ultimately, I think the women themselves need to show up. In uni, for instance, you can join your TESCON when you're in uni. It starts from there. You join the political group, you show up. And if you show a flair for it and you're right where it be, at the forefront of it, sometimes you even be handpicked and put there because you've demonstrated your ability. So those are the things. But it's important that the system itself recognizes that women are uniquely challenged in terms of several barriers to entry, and the system takes steps to make it easier for women to enter. But as women also, for those of us in the front lines, we need to mentor younger women to say, okay, who is this young woman who is interested in this politics or even has the potential? She may not be interested, but we can identify her and say, look, you can do great things, because politics is about saving lives if you're doing it for the right reasons. It's about making an impact. So if you identify a young woman and you can say, look, you have something in you, we can nurture you, and one day you can make a difference in your community, in your society. So mentorship also plays a big role in that sense. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, it was great. And I actually do really believe that mentorship makes a huge difference. For me, I got I got access to get to work in federal government due to mentorship. So thank you very much for that.
Right.
And thank you for that question, Helena. I do know that International Women's Day will still be behind and let the men get involved a little bit. So we do have a question from Burma. So Burma, unmute the mic and ask away.
Okay, thank you. So I've heard that Madam Second Lady speaks Pidgin, so I'll be asking Okay. So I want to know, as you did take, how things do for you, and what you would suggest on how you will balance food and social life.
tell you, say, second lady, they talk pidgin. It not be true, not be true. I know they talk pidgin. Second lady speaks impeccable English, isn't it? Tech was fun. I keep saying that my best days were my university days. Because first of all, you don't get to be responsible until after you finish university. That's when you start worrying about getting a job and growing up. So I had, a really fantastic time in school. Of course, you have to study, but you have to chill. You can chill small, and then you study small. So it was a fun time. But when you're going to the best university in Ghana, which is Tech, then you know you're done. So very well. May I answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
I think very much. Still picking his jaw up from the floor. A university war on here, but I've got Vanessa also in the room and she wants to ask a question. Vanessa, over to you.
Thank you, Helen. First of all, this is an incredible conversation. And my question is, if someone is looking to possibly collaborate on a maternal health project here in Ghana with you, how will they go about that? And is that something you would be interested in?
Oh, Vanessa, thank you for the question. We would love that. Like I said, everything we have done successfully has been with partnerships, with partners who are also willing partners and able partners who had a shared vision with us. So, as I said, go to www.sbawumia.org and you can reach us there at info@sbawumia.org and send us an email and we'll get right back in touch with you and we'll start the conversation going. But we'd love to be in touch with anybody and on any of our projects, really. If you have a brilliant idea that you think we can start, we're happy to listen. We're here to serve, we're here to make a difference, and we're here to impact lives.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I've also got Priscilla in the room. Priscilla, you've got a question. Go for it. Hello, Priscilla. Unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hi everyone. I want to say thank you to Helen for having us. I want to say happy International Women's Day to Mrs. Samira Bawumia and to all the ladies here. My question is, so Mrs. Bawumia, you are the the wife of the vice president, you are a mother, and you also have personal things going on as working in the public service. So with all those roles, which one do you enjoy most? And then why do you choose that as the one that you enjoy most? Either being the second lady, being a mother, and also being a wife to the vice president. Thank you.
Oh, you're trying to get me in trouble. I'm not gonna. Okay, listen. You're trying to get me in trouble. I think the politically correct answer is that I love my husband and my children both equally. Yes, but you can't really separate them because they are it's become second nature. A mother is who I am. A wife is also who I am. I've been married for what? I can't even remember how many years. It's 17 plus years. So it's almost my second nature now. And of course, it's an incredible privilege to be second lady, and doing it comes to me effortlessly now, even though it's challenging at times, but it's something that I take very seriously and I do it with so much passion because of the impact that I have. Of course, it's time bound that, unlike being a mother, you'll be a mother forever, wife forever, but the second lady is time bound, so there's a certain urgency that comes with it, and you want to do as much as possible within a certain period so that you can impact as many people within that period. So, but I do enjoy all of them. But it's really, and then I dedicate a fair amount of time to each of those roles as best as I can. So I hope I haven't gotten into trouble with this answer.
No, you haven't.
Well, when I get home, I'll find out. Yes, thank you.
From what we see from the outside, these guys are doing a good job, and keep them up, and you have all of us looking at you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Priscilla. I've also got Joanna in the room. Joanna has a question. Over to you.
Hi everyone, happy International Women's Day to everyone, and thank you Helen for organising this, and also thank you to Mrs. Samira for gracing us with your presence. I have a question. One of the things that I absolutely adore about you is that you're very poised, you're eloquent in the way you carry yourself with grace, and you also know how to maintain your femininity despite being in a position of leadership. And I feel like oftentimes women in leadership feel the pressure to portray themselves in a masculine way, just to be taken seriously as a leader. And I just wanted to ask, what tips would you give to women, especially those in leadership, in how they can maintain their femininity and remain poised and be as graceful as you are?
Well, thank you. I think it's important that you know your stuff. I think that is what earns you the greatest respect in whatever space you are in. Once people engage you and they understand that you're intelligent and you're on top of the issues that they're engaging you on, then they have no choice but to respect you. And so they would look beyond your looks. You know, they'll go beyond that. But of course, we all fall victim to it. They see a pretty face and, you know, there's a tendency to be dismissive of a pretty woman, you know. And so sometimes I see people, you know, they're almost shocked that, oh, when she's intelligent. I'm like, you know, what were you expecting? You know, it's almost as if you cannot be good looking and smart, and we need to challenge that stereotype. You should own your beauty, you should own your femininity. You are a woman, and that's who you are. But when you're walking into a boardroom, when you're walking into a space where you're leading, you should also know your stuff. Because you're not there because you're a woman. You're not there because you're beautiful. You're there because you're smart. And that is what they should remember you for. So that when you speak, they remember what you said. You make an impression on them. It's not just the first impression. There should be a lasting impression. And it should be what comes out of your mouth. So that is very important. So know your stuff. And be on top of your stuff. That's a winning formula.
Thank you so much for that. I feel like I would be really interested in some type of training provided by yourself, and I do hope that that is something you would look into in the future.
Well, thank you for suggesting that. I will look into it.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for that question, Joanna. Elaine, you're next. Please unmute the mic now, please.
Thank you so much, Helen, for arranging this. Really, really appreciate it. Hats off to you, well done. Thank you so much, Mrs. Samira, for giving us your time today. I have a couple of questions. I mentored over 400 women. I'm compiling inspirational African female leaders, a list to speak to them on. And one thing I want to ask you is, what do you want to be known for? What legacy? Because obviously you're doing your term. What would you want to be known for? Not just in the land of Ghana, but in the history books. I'm going to come in more kindness.
I just want to be known as somebody who cared about what she did. And that's as much as you can do. Because you need to, it needs to matter that what you're doing matters to other people. And that's as much as you can give. The impact, that is secondary. How people perceive it, that is secondary. But you, what comes from you should be true. It should be truth. It should be honest. You should care. And that's what I want to remember.
Thank you very much. That's amazing. I will be emailing your office for you to be a speaker at one of our conferences.
Well, I hope. Okay, we'll look forward to your email.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you for that question, Elaine. I'll take one more from the Equal Win. we have spoken and spoken and spoken. I didn't even realize how much time had already passed. Time does fly when you're having a good time. But I'll take one last one from Chief Women. Somebody have your hands up. So I'll call the Chief. If I'm able to squeeze in one more, I will. But Chief Women, over to you.
Thank you very much, and it's exciting to find the excellency here. And just a quick observation from a question. And I'm one of the people who absolutely love what the excellency is doing with our fashion industry, and how the way she's using our local fabrics is glamorizing those fabrics and giving them a lot of value out there. I think what would be exciting to see now or in the future is some kind of a museum. Maybe museum is a big word. Let's say even a website that curates all the outfits the excellency has been wearing for all of those occasions, the name of these designers, the name of the fabrics, and all of that for posterity, so that people can find some of these fabrics and some of these designers. And now to my question. Your Excellency, do you think it's possible to have very serious collaborations between women from different political parties, or they will always be restrained by their loyalty to their political party? And I ask this with the context of when the former President John Mahama appointed Professor Nana as the running mate. There was this whole controversy in the media that for the NPP to respond very well, they had to unleash the NPP women to kind of include at her head. But considering that all women across all political divides virtually face the same problems, do you see any genuine political collaboration across political lines? Thank you, I'm Chief Woman, and I'm done speaking.
Oh, Chief, thank you for joining us. I'll make you an honorary woman today for braving on International Women's Day. Yes, actually, it's a good question you asked. We should be able to, of course, and there is the rigor of politics. There's a time and place for politics. But there are times when we ought to put it aside. So I hope that when those times come up, when the time comes where we need to rise to that occasion, we are able to rise to that occasion. That is what I would like to see.
And what about the Museum of Samira Fashion?
A lot of people have proposed it. I think we should talk later and then look into that. Would you help curate it? I'm putting you on the spot, and people are listening.
I would be absolutely.
And thank you for that, people.
Thank you. Yes, he's in trouble now.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted to do so. At least when it comes to the language, we can use some poetic language to describe Madam Samira's fashion.
I look forward to it, Chief. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rosen. And thank you to everybody that asked the question. I know I have several hands up, but do forgive me. We don't have enough time to answer all your questions. And so many of you engaged with us with the hashtag #Samira Bawumia. We've seen all the commentary, all the questions on there. And hopefully we can do this at another time when we can engage with more of you. So many of you have great questions, but time will not allow us to do that. So I'll ask one last question, and then we can round up today's conversation. And this one, of course, is for Mrs. Samira Bawumia. And what excites you about what the future holds for young Ghanaian women? Young women are doing so many amazing things. So that you're excited, but what are you looking forward to?
Well, I think the Ghanaian woman is a hardworking, dynamic, innovative woman. And that's exactly what we need for the future. So for all of us, as women, and especially for the young women, when I see what is happening today in terms of businesses, up-and-coming startups, and what young women are doing, I know the future is bright for the young woman, the confidence that our young women have, and the sort of leadership that we have, and those who are ready to mentor, I know that we're in a good place. And the sort of leadership we have today, which is ready to carry us on to the next level. So I'm saying, if you have ideas, don't let anybody pull you down. Don't let anybody discourage you. Make sure that you speak to the right people, people who will encourage you to see your dreams come to fruition, because the future is bright. If you stick to your dreams, you stick to your vision, and you're serious about it, and I know that the Ghanaian woman has what it takes. We are strong. We can do it. And I know you will do it. I have faith in you.
And thank you for that. And today has been really, really, really exciting. I know that we've learned so much about you today. We've learned that you don't have time for your friends. That's true with me to say. I have no excuse. We've learned what about...
Well, don't put it that way, Helen. Don't put it that way. Put it in a nicer way.
Well, it's too late now. It's too late now. Now I have no excuse. There's no time in practice. Today I have to make plans with all my friends. Because you have time for your friends. I'm going to try and double my life better. And it was also very eye-opening to learn about your NGO, and in particular, listening to things like your commitment to reducing maternal mortality through projects like the Safe Delivery Project, that you're a mother of four. And even though you might not be cool at this point in time, you enjoy that role and you love it, along with the other roles that you have as a woman, you truly demonstrated that no Ghanaian woman only wants to wear many hats, and it was very exciting to hear you kitchen as well. I'm going to also practice my kitchen tonight. I'm really inspired. But once we started this discussion, we started off with a bit of a game. We called it Two Truths and a Lie.
Yeah.
Just run through those three statements and do a bit of a drum roll. You tell us which statement is a lie. So it says, Mrs. Samira Bawumia went to secondary school at the age of 10. Mrs. Samira Bawumia was a TV host. And Mrs. Samira Bawumia has a dog. Please tell us which statement is the lie. Drum roll, everybody.
Okay. So, I did go to secondary school Form 1 at the age of 10.
Wow.
Yes. So that leaves the two. And yes, my first job after university was a presenter, a TV presenter. So that means I do not have a dog.
Very interesting.
Yes.
I, for one, I guessed it. I used my superpower and I guessed it. And I'm sure some of you also were playing the guessing game on social media. Again, thank you so much for engaging with us in this clubhouse room and also on social media. It's been truly, truly exciting, and it's been a truly wonderful time. I'm sure we'll be able to do this again so we can engage with even more people. Happy International Women's Day to you. And Mrs. Samira Bawumia, if you have any last words, please take us away.
And I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in today. I've had so much fun. I can't believe that I waited so long to do this. And